Hello and welcome to Community News from the Hill. I'm your host, Erica Fox. And today I have a young man who's a student here at Alabama A&M University, and he has the recipe for success for some high school students and for some students here on the campus of Alabama A&M University. I'd like to welcome to Community News from the Hill, Mr. Kyle King. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Originally, actually, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but I made my way down here to the Hill by way of one of the former Board of Trustees members, Norman Hill. He told me a lot about the campus and some of the experiences and opportunities that would open up to me here. So I took his word and his advice, and it's been an amazing experience since.
So what are you majoring in while you're here?
Actually, I'm majoring in finance. So I came into school as a pre-med major. I met with Dr. Jane and some of the finance professors because I've been very strong in math. So he told me a little bit about it. I always wanted to start my own business, so I chose finance because it's more so of the hierarchy of business. So it's taught me a lot of different things and has prepared me for graduation.
So what happened to pre-med? Just totally got kicked to the side?
Well, actually, I studied abroad in Ghana in 2012. So I worked directly with their capital and tried to facilitate some international economic development growth plans. So some of the apprehension and struggles that I faced over there, being within their hospitals and their educational fields, but also in business, I wanted to be able to come back to America domestically and build hospitals, schools, and also a sense of entrepreneurial talent within our culture. So instead of just being the doctor, I wanted to be able to be the entrepreneur that created all of it.
Wow. So how did you get to Ghana in the first place? Was that while you were a student here at A&M?
Yes, actually Dr. Bukinya and Dr. Ohini, they had one of the international programs. They told me about it, and I was right on it. So I've always wanted to go to Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, and then the opportunity to go into Ghana was amazing because everything was through the school, through the university. I already had a passport at the time, so it was the best experience since I've been in school, definitely.
Wow. So how have you shared that experience with some of your colleagues?
Actually, I did a full, about 15-minute video on my experience there, and then once I've come back, I've talked about the study abroad program and how that's pretty much changed me into who I am today. That pretty much set the foundation for everything that I run today with the nonprofit, to everything, decisions that I've made with my career choice as well. It's kind of shaped me into everything that I want to do with my future as well. Studying abroad in the international experience, especially with globalization today, has been the best thing that I've done here.
So let's step back to high school. Were you ever an exchange student or interact with exchange students?
No, not at all. The environment that I grew up in the high school that I attended, there wasn't really any diversity. So I was, challenged to kind of step outside of that. And my parents always told me that you have to be, more diverse and you have to be versatile. You have to be able to, you're not just competing with people that look like you. And I learned that very quickly. I spent my first year in a school in Virginia, PWI, and it kind of changed. It was definitely a culture shock when I came here to Alabama A&M University as well, definitely.
So what was the biggest part of it being a shock to you?
I think the accent and the weather. Definitely. The biggest thing for me is that, coming from the Northeast, it's a lot of different cultural factors that kind of drive the economy up there. Being a growth mindset, everybody's moving so fast paced. I believe that some of the things down here is that we have to learn how to integrate our traditional methods with innovative techniques for growth. And that's a lot of the things in California and New York and Atlanta. They're continuously growing, and that's the thing that I was trying to bring here. So, some of the things that I've seen in Alabama since I've got here is a lot of stagnant abilities because people don't believe that they have the opportunity. However, I wanted to be able to bring the cultural mindset of growth, and you do have the opportunity just to make the most of your opportunity.
So in sharing that information, what has the response been so far?
I think the response has been very supportive because a lot of the millennials in the world are starting to create these innovations, starting to create these technological advancements. And just my mentors here, they need young leaders. When we think of our generation now, who are our leaders and our pioneers in this generation that are helping, that are changing, that are really not so focused on the dollars, but truly making a difference within our communities? And that's what I was trying to create for the Huntsville, Alabama, I guess, market or economy.
So who do you think are the leaders for today? Do we even have any?
I believe that Obama changed the dynamic of the belief and the hope within the communities. Now you have somebody in a presidential position and of power in a sense, and we looked at that. However, if you look at a lot of the 10 percenters and a lot of the business fields, there's 500 companies and Fortune 500 companies. How many of those CEOs are of color? And looking at that, W.E.B. Du Bois had a talented 10th model. I believe in an entrepreneurial 10th model. We have to be able to cultivate entrepreneurs within our communities in order to bring economic prosperity to the region. Because North Huntsville is just as important as South Huntsville. And being able to build our communities as well is just as important as their communities.
Most definitely. I mean, it's great that schools are being built and downtown is really, really booming.
Yes.
But there is a section of our city here in Madison County that is really just needs to be looked at a little bit more, especially if you need growth. And especially with the young people coming up, you have to have growth. So that leads me to the young people that you are wanting to make a big impression on and to help them. And that's your project, Shine. How did you come up with this idea?
It's very interesting, and actually going back to Ghana, that's how I came up with it. So Shine, actually, a lot of people don't understand what it means. Shine is serve, hope, inspire, network, and empower. So I was actually talking with one of my colleagues when I got back from Ghana, and we were just sitting at IHOP, we were just talking, how can we change the culture here? What is it that, students need? What is it that students want? And I just came out and said, we need to be educated better. I don't believe that education is everything that is taught in the classroom, and being able to integrate real life application with institutional knowledge, that's how you bring innovation. That's how you bridge that gap between business and academia. So I wanted to be able to build something for students that creates a pipeline or a matriculation into college and then into the industry as well.
So how do you fit your mission, or is that your mission for Project Shine?
Well, the mission for Project Shine is to essentially create and cultivate globally competitive business leaders by providing them with the skills and resources necessary to be successful or excelling professionals. So a lot of the research that I've done or that I've gathered and our team has gathered from industry professionals, executives from companies, students aren't ready graduating college. You may have a 4.0 GPA or you may have a 3.9 or 3.5. However, are you ready to come into this position and excel? Do you know how to problem solve? Do you know how to communicate effectively? Do you know how to come on time or send a efficient or effective email? Do you know how to plan a meeting or project management, time management? So some of those things is what we're being able to create our students. So it's a 4-year program that essentially is taking you through this intense program, this intense platform, and creating you into that excelling professional.
So you're starting back not just with college students, you are starting with high school students. So what are those schools that you are working with, and how many do you have at the moment?
Actually, we're starting in elementary school.
Oh, okay.
And we're starting at Chapman Elementary School. We have a great relationship with them and their principal, Mr. Glenn Bryan over there. He's a great guy. So we're starting in elementary school because we believe that the discrepancies begin in middle school. So some of the things that students are learning, students have access to, are starting in middle school, and they begin to hit puberty. They begin to think that they're the head of the household. So we wanted to be able to kind of catch them earlier and then kind of develop them, give them that mentoring, that nurturing, that tutoring in elementary, middle, and then send them to high school. And then now they have more so of a mindset that we're not just trying to graduate high school, we're trying to get to college. And then once they get to one of our partnered universities, now we're not just trying to graduate college, we're trying to excel as professionals. So Chapman Middle School and Chapman Elementary School are definitely one of the schools that we, as our baby. Johnson High School, and now we're starting to bridge out to Montview, the MLK, because that's right next door to us as well, and then Lee, Columbia. We have students actually coming into our Scholars Program for those 3 schools as well.
That is fantastic. And so has this just launched this year, or how long has Project Shine been in existence?
Well, Project Shine has been in existence for about a year, I guess legally for a year, but I've been mentoring and tutoring students within these different schools for a long time now, and then I just felt that we need an organization so I can bring volunteers and so we can really help multiple schools, because I can't be in 3 places at one time. So now we have about 30 volunteers that are in Chapman Middle School, and they contribute over about 120 hours a week volunteering for these students, mentoring, tutoring, and actually their test scores have increased over there. So it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
That is fantastic. And you're bringing about 16 students to Alabama A&M, and what will they be doing here on campus?
Well, they will essentially be our first cohort Shine Scholars. They will be taken through this 4-year curriculum that we've created, and they will have mandatory reading requirements. And let's just talk about the reading requirements because I see your face.
No, I think that's great.
Yes.
I think that's great.
The scholars that you mentioned earlier, the W.E.B. Du Bois, the Booker T. Washingtons, the William Hooper Councils, they read and wrote books. Reading books is not just for leisure. It teaches you reading comprehension, problem solving, critical thinking. We want our students to not just graduate as students. We want them to be scholars that are really tackling the global issues that our generation is creating today. So they will have reading requirements. Every day they will have to dress professionally in the College of Business and Public Affairs. Any day except Friday, because that would be business casual. We want to emulate our students just as a professional. If you come late to class, you will be docked. If you are doing things that are not within your values or your morals of our program, you will be docked or put on probation, just like you would do in a workplace.
Right.
We have to be able to change how we look and how we treat our students. Education is not just a right, it should be a privilege.
Most definitely. You have to take it, as you said, outside the classroom. You have book sense, common sense, as they like to say, but you have to be able to incorporate both together, especially if you need to live, want to get that job, want to move forward, you must do that. So how do students get involved in this, or do you all go out and find these young people that you want to be scholars?
So we haven't even had an official launch to our website or anything. Our first year, we've kind of handpicked students. However, we've had over 100 applications through our website that have come in. We have students applying from Boston, Massachusetts, and actually we had a student from LA applying to the program.
Wow.
I'm not sure how it got out to all these different areas. However, this first cohort were chosen students. And actually we have 7 ambassadors that will be upperclassmen, and all 7 of these students have been offered internships for this summer as well. They've been going through a 4-month kind of fast-track program where we're doing interview management 101, professional development skills, leadership development, business communication. We're putting them through workshops, and then they're also involved in the community events as well. So we're really trying to have these 7 ambassadors kind of be the mentors for the 16 students coming in as well. And these 16 students will be in a very intense program, so they have a lot to, yes.
It sounds exciting. And I know A&M is one of your partner universities. What are some of the other universities working with you?
So A&M right now is our first cohort because we want to be able to essentially test the model here. And then because of, will be a soon graduate from A&M, I wanted to be able to build and perfect the model here at our university first and be able to build our students that are coming here first. We're looking at 9 other schools in the Alabama region. Actually, Tuskegee is one of those. Alabama State is another. We're actually going to be looking at Drake soon as well. Miles College, Talladega College, a lot of the HBCUs, because this essentially is a global diversity outreach program that builds our culture into entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. What is the website?
Oh, the website is www.projectshineal.com.
ProjectShineAL.com.
Yes.
And what is more information about Project Shine that we may not have touched on that you would care to share?
So actually this summer we're partnering with 6 nonprofit organizations here in the city. The first one is NOVA, so we will be I'm actually sitting on the board for that now, and we'll be creating a sense of community awareness and community building, bringing community organizations together, and that will be May 20th. So 1,000 people will attend the Huntsville Airport private hangar, and we'll be having an event there. In June 20th through the 25th, we'll have Operation CEO, which means cultivating entrepreneurial opulence.
Okay.
And that's going to be more so like an entrepreneurial boot camp, kind of with a feel of a Shark Tank as well. So we'll be bringing in 60 students to that program, and we'll be taking them through the necessary steps to become excelling and veteran entrepreneurs. So we're bringing in seasoned entrepreneurs from everywhere in the United States, I believe like 5 or 6, and they'll be training these students and working with the different students and working on this innovation that they're trying to create during this week. And whoever pitches the best idea will get funded the money.
Kind of a Shark Tank.
Kind of a Shark Tank, yes. And we're continuing to open up our doors for volunteers within the different school systems as well. We're actually doing a back-to-school bash where we'll be giving out student supplies, gifts for the students, a backpack, and then the necessary things that students need to be successful in their careers. And then we're actually doing a TED Talk. That's in late July as well. We're getting all the people together, actually specifically for students as well.
TEDx or TED Talk?
No, we're creating a sense of a TED Talk. So
okay.
we're bringing community leaders to be able to help and create the visions for these students. I believe that it takes a village to raise a home and to raise a child. So if we bring our community together, we can really make change in the city.
Most definitely. Now for like the upcoming school year, students that would be high school seniors, can they apply for the scholarship and the scholars program now to begin like the training session, the fast track you were talking about for the upcoming senior year in high school? Is that doable?
Well, the fast track is actually for juniors and seniors in college.
Oh, okay.
Those are the ambassadors. So we have also an organization called Shine Academy, which is under the Project Shine umbrella, and that is specifically for K through 12 level, and students can apply for that whenever, because then we'll go into the different schools and give them either one-on-one or group mentoring. We'll give them ACT and SAT prep. We'll give them college preparatory and awareness, pretty much helping them with the matriculation between being a high school student and becoming a college scholar.
That is excellent. I applaud you wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
And you and your team, I just think this is fantastic what you're doing. And I believe you're going to go somewhere else other than Ghana. And you'll be going back across all over the globe to share this vision that you have and bringing in more young people to be very successful. So again, what's the website once again for more information?
For more information, you can go to www.projectshineal.com.
Thank you so much. It's Kyle King.
Yes, Kyle King, yes.
The senior here at Alabama A&M University and Project Shine. We thank you so much for being a part of Community News from the Hill. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all so much for listening and for tuning in here to Community News from the Hill. I'm Erica Fox. Please have a great day.